Hello, my name is Brant Hunt. Today is the 27th day of March, 2022, that is. I wanted to talk to you about something called a private partnership association. Um, this is an innovative way to run a business without any government interference, is what I'm understanding. And how this works? Well, I'm a member of a group with Dr. Robert Morris. Dr. Robert Morris is a herbalist who sells herbs to the public, but he was having so much trouble with the government in trying to enforce their rules upon him. And so what happened was simply is he decided to go with he would call it a club. In other words, join his club and you can be a part of his private partnership association. That eliminates the government from getting involved in his affairs. So I'm listening to Crow tonight on Crow 777 radio, and he has a guy on tonight. Well, actually, the day earlier, and I was listening to part of it. I haven't listened to all of it, but it makes perfect sense. It just sort of clicked with me. This is how you can actually run your business without having any interference from the government in this regard. Like, for example, that your employees have to um, take a shot or have to do certain things that the government requires because you're in the public sphere. And if you're in the public sphere, what is taking place is simply is that you're under their regulations. And this is critical for people to figure this out because this is a beautiful. This makes perfect sense. So today, what I understand simply is that he had a guy on, and I've only listened to the first maybe 8 or 10 minutes of his program, and it makes perfect sense. It's logical, and that's that's what I that's what's so beautiful about it. So he's talking with a guy who is basically lives in California. They decided basically they want to move to South Dakota and get away from all the harassments that's going on there. And so this is what's taking place. Is simply is that these are private partnership associations. So what happens simply is this allows a business if if you're someone who works in alternative medicine. This offers the opportunity to be in business to not have the government looking over your heads or telling you what kind of rules you have to follow. And this gives the opportunity for all of us to be doing things that can actually benefit people. And the key is simply is he actually opened up a grocery store in South Dakota, him and his wife. And what they did was simply is they said the public is invited, but he explained it when people came in there, if they chose to let them look around at what they wanted to do, if this was what they wanted to shop at this particular grocery store, the clothes, sorry, the groceries, then they would have the opportunity to become a member if they go along with the bylaws. And if they chose to buy something at a particular time, they would have to become a member, you see. Now, as far as I know, there was no charge in this particular thing, just like with me with Dr. Robert Morris and getting herbs from him. There's no charge. As simply as I see the rules and regulations, what they have, I agree to those, and that is a binding contract between me and Dr. Robert Morris. I agreed with him and what he said. That builds a contract between me and him. Okay. Now we can break that contract also if I choose that I don't want to deal with him anymore, that type of thing. What's beautiful about this and understanding this whole apparatus is that this keeps the government out of your affairs if you're in a small business. So this is a great opportunity for small businesses or people who do things, will allow them to operate, but it's in a private sphere. Meaning simply is that you're able to sell your products as long as you're a member to another member. And this especially would be very good in a medium-sized city that people are looking for something. For example, a masseuse or someone who uses alternative medicine. Okay, this is an opportunity to do this. Is what I'm seeing here in the United States. At one time was that way, as he gave an explanation of simply was that they were what they call what they sold alcohol in the restaurants, but you had to abide by the rules in the restaurant. So you had to be a member of that, and it was called a gentleman's club. And so the gentleman's club would allow during the days of the United States would not allow people to drink alcohol. They would allow them to drink alcohol in these members deals. So this is how they this is what they call speakeasies is another word for it. And back in the 1920s, when they changed the Constitution that basically said you can't drink alcohol, such and such. So what happened was this allowed them to actually drink their alcohol. I'm not saying that's a great thing to do, but anyway, the point simply is this allowed the business to operate and the clientele to do what they wanted to. They no longer were under the auspices of the government looking over your shoulders and saying you can't do this or you got to do this, you got to do these certain things, these certain mandates or whatever. And this is beautiful. I never even thought about it. I thought about it with Robert Morris, but I never thought about it simply as that for people out here that want to do some businesses this way and build a clientele with people with like-minded perspectives that are no longer going to be under the government control. So let me show you something real quick here. This is the, let me show you this. Push this thing here. And this is a Chrome tab, and I want to show you this is it here. And this is the show that's being offered today. Again, I'm paying $8 for a month for this, folks, but this is well worth it. Please. These guys are bringing up great ideas. They've actually had Chris Hauser on here. They've had KL on this deal. Both KL is talking about trust. He's also talking about how to own your land and own it outright and not pay property tax. So this is the deal. The show is called Private Ideas in Public Places, what they call PMA Rising. And this is just simply a showing of that. So private ideas in public places. And this is a way, again, the opportunity for people to be able to operate, make the government stay out of their business. So if I had a regular grocery store and I was under the rules, I would have to force the people in that come in my grocery store. They would have to follow the government rules. They would have to follow all those things because of the mandates or rules or whatever you want to call it. But this allows you to not be in that particular perspective. You're a private membership deal. But it's public that allows someone to come in there and see if they want to be a part of it. But if they choose to buy something, they then have to become a member. And as far as I know, it's probably, I don't think it's any charge because I was never charged anything through Dr. Robert Morris, as well as I recollect. So this gives you again the opportunity to be under the under the radar of the government, simply not telling you what you have to do and what you can't do. So I just challenge you to actually look into this and see if this is something you want to look into, something you might want to venture into something. But this is allows. So they moved to South Dakota to do what they did, which was actually open up a grocery store. So I'm gathering simply is that I haven't listened to the whole show, but I'm gathering simply is that they would sell their groceries or private things within their private membership type of deal. And this is a great opportunity for people who want to start a business and doing this, something of this nature. I think this is very important for health and medical. I think that if doctors want to do this, something of this nature, chiropractors, anyone that can actually offer an alternative to surgery, this is an opportunity to help the clientele, and actually you can be out of the system. See, you're in the system, but you're not in the system. You follow me? So this is a short video. I just I'm here and I just wanted to make it really short, but I thought it was very very important that you understand simply is that to encourage your chiropractors, your maybe some doctors who are frustrated with the system. Well, get out of the system. The best way to is to do this. Create this type of way of a membership so that that protects you and the clientele knows that their responsibility that is I'm here, I'm buying certain fresh fruits, vegetables, whatever. I expect to get those things, and yet you also can run a legitimate business. You see? So I encourage people to look at this. Again, folks, you pay if you want to know the truth, you seek it out. Okay. I had someone come on my wall here a couple of days ago and said, "I'm not going to pay anything to anybody." He called it paywall. The person said he didn't want to quote unquote pay anything for anything. Well, folks, there are other people out there that have some maybe have a little noggin up there in their head and they see things a little bit differently, and maybe can offer you an opportunity to get yourself out of this whole satanic system that we're living in, that we have to work all our lives and really basically as slaves. And this is an opportunity here. So I recommend Crow, CRROW 777, $8 a month. If you don't like it, you lost $8, but you can download all his programs on your computer. It's over 300 programs. He's been doing this, I think, since 2014. He used to be on YouTube, and he was completely harassed by them that eventually he couldn't share anything he wanted to. And so that's the reason why you pay for this. Again, it's the opportunity, a membership in that regard. You see, this is how you get around the gatekeeper, so to speak. So I would encourage people to do this. Um, the shows with Chris Hauser and KL. KL is speaking of is another guy talks about financial deals. That is with your trust. Also to do with owning your own land. What we would call the allodial title. The old word for allodial title is not called that anymore, and it's used differently. But you can own your own property without having to pay property tax, you see. But there are ways to get around these laws because simply is when they talk about real estate, they're using the word real in front of the estate. So they're changing things, but in reality, simply it's a state. It's always been a state. And this was supposed to always to take place was to pass to your property to your own family for their generation once you pass away. And what they've done is simply is most people have forgotten this, they haven't been educated or not passed down these type of things, and they've forgotten that they were truly free in this regard and don't know. The other word is misnomers of real estate, as though it's real, when reality is estate is real. But this is again the way how they trick people and fool people to steal from them. Lawyers tend to do really good at that. If you're a lawyer and you're doing this kind of stuff, you are in a hell of a mess because you're going to deal with some serious stuff down the road here because of what you've done to people, innocent people. You haven't told the correct truth, not correct truth. You haven't told the truth to people correctly. You have led people and misled them. You haven't led them, you misled them. And lawyers are in business for one thing. They create laws to make us crooks when reality they are the crooks because we follow these guys thinking they're the authorities when reality is simply is we are the authority. We have always been the authority and we're going to take it back. It's ours, not yours. Wish you a good night. Take care. And thank you for listening. And as always, um, you can always ask questions. Um, that's how you learn something in life. That's just the way it works. Thank you. Take care.